It is good to have you all joining us in today's video. Today we are going to be taking a look at a topic that is on the tip of everyone's tongue throughout the world, the coronavirus. Depending on your opinion on the matter, this virus is either a diabolical bioweapon created by sinister men in a lab with world dominance or population control in mind, or simply a mutation that occurs often in nature and in scientists' labs across the globe. First, in order to understand the fear and panic that biological agents like the coronavirus create, we need to understand the historical significance that viruses, diseases, and biological mediums have had on humans since written history began. Writings going back as far as the Bible and other ancient writings speak of great plagues that have destroyed human populations or their livestock. Even the youngest of children, who have an education that includes world history, know of the disastrous roles that viruses and other biological compounds have had in the shaping of the fields of science and medicine and how they operate in our age. In Western culture, we are taught about great plagues or pandemics that have decimated human populations. One of the worst of these is the Black Death that killed an estimated number between 75 to 200 million of Europeans during the mid-1300s. Some estimates say that over 50% of all humans in Europe were killed due to the Black Death. The Black Death was due to infected fleas that took a ride on a rat, which in turn, due to poor sanitation of that era, spread to humans who often had severe rat infestations in their homes and places of work. Another example of a disease that has killed millions is smallpox. Smallpox, in the time that it has been contagious, has killed an estimated 300 to 500 million people. The disease is usually transmitted due to a long human-to-human exposure. There have been several large smallpox outbreaks over the last few centuries alone. Thanks to a worldwide effort of vaccination to eradicate the awful disease, smallpox was declared eradicated in 1979, and the last natural case was reported in 1977. These two cases are but a small sample size of what a large biological outbreak has done and has the potential to do. With this in mind, it is completely understandable why there is an outcry over the coronavirus and whether it was made in a lab or mutated naturally in nature. With that brief history in mind, we will move along now and visit some of the great fears that come along with a situation like the coronavirus. Over the last 70 to 80 years, the fear in potential pandemics or an unstoppable biological disease or agent wiping out mankind has increased exponentially, especially with the advent of governments globally researching and even deploying biological agents as a form of warfare. So, we as a society not only fear the mutation of some terrible disease out there, but now we must fear our very own governments using them. This very fear, that a nation might use these weapons against other nations, brought about a convention at the United Nations to create legislation. According to UN.org, the United Nations webpage, the convention was for the prohibition of the development, production, and stockpiling of bacteriological or biological and toxin weapons and on their destruction. The treaty opened for signatures on April 10, 1972, and it went into enforcement on March 26, 1975. This multilateral agreement was the first of its kind that called for the destruction and prohibition of a single type of weapon of mass destruction in human history. Unfortunately, as mankind has proven time and time again, not all have followed the treaty. There are rumors of governments using bioweapons, as well as specific examples, such as Iraq's use of mustard gas and other agents against certain ethnic groups within their own borders during the Persian Gulf War in the 1980s. As biological weapons have become more common, regrettably some non-government organizations have attained and even manufactured bioweapons. One such instance was when the Aum Shinrikyo used sarin gas in the subway system of Tokyo in 1995, killing 12 and injuring over 5,000. This leads us to where we stand today, the fear of another mutated virus that there is currently no cure for, or possibility that a government has produced a weapon and released it to cause panic and death. Anyone who has taken the most basic of science courses or watched any news broadcasts recently knows that viruses mutate in nature. Therefore, we will be focusing on the perceived evidence that the coronavirus was created in a lab with suspicious intention in mind. First, we must understand that there are many coronaviruses in the world. According to the World Health Organization, the current virus is identified as a novel coronavirus, or nCoV. The World Health Organization's website, who.int, states, coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases, with the most recent coronavirus that caused great concern being SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome. As a matter of fact, some leaked information from a supposed lab technician close to the situation reported that this current coronavirus carries an 87% likeness to SARS. By most reports, the virus first showed manifestation in Wuhan, a large city in the People's Republic of China with an estimated population of over 11 million people. Now here is where the theories of this virus being made purposefully start to gain some traction. Labs that study different viruses are given a certain level depending on what they are capable of studying safely, with rankings starting with BSL 1, standing for Biosafety Level 1, which would study the most basic and non-deadly biological components, stepping up to BSL 2, then BSL 3, and ending at BSL 4, with each ranking coinciding with the level of dangerous materials they are allowed to study and keep at the lab. As most people would think, there are very few BSL 4 distinguished labs throughout the world, and only one that the Chinese government openly says that they have. And wouldn't you know that ground zero of this new outbreak and that one lab have quite an interesting relationship. I need only tell you the name of this lab for even the most level-headed of people to raise a brow. Wuhan Institute of Virology and the Chinese Academy of Sciences. That's right, this new coronavirus starts in the city of Wuhan, which just so happens to house the only BSL-4 lab in all of China. Much of the conspiracy movement regarding China producing the coronavirus as a bioweapon stemmed from comments made by former Israeli intelligence officer Danny Shoham. Shoham suggested that it was possible that the Wuhan facility could be cultivating such weapons. Unfortunately, China does not have a free press, so much of the information that could dispel rumors gets called in the state media, which leads to more distrust and more confusion. Now, just on the surface, it does not make very much sense for China to release this coronavirus as a military bioweapon. Economically alone, this outbreak and the fear that stems from said outbreak will cost the People's Republic of China dearly. Another simple suggestion that this is not a bioweapon is that although it is deadly, it is being survived by the majority of those who have healthy immune systems who contract it. Now, as much as I would love to run with a nice conspiracy theory that this is some huge unexplained evil plot, I am more of the feeling that this is another mutation in nature that has regrettably spread throughout the world due to the world being such a small place in 2020. On the flip side of that opinion comes the dark and horror-filled thoughts of the potential that this simple mutation brings. Let me ask you a terrifying question. What is scarier? A government lab creating a virus in which a human does hold the key to its mutation, therefore holding the key to its possible vaccination or eradication, or the mutation that occurs silently in a group of animals that then transmits it to us humans, and before we even know what it is, the people who have been exposed to it have traveled to every continent in the world. Regardless of mine or your opinion regarding viruses, we all must face that fact that our world is sitting on a hair trigger for the possible devastation that the next horrific virus could unleash. We all are in fear of the world being destroyed by war and the unleashing of nuclear warfare, but most scientific experts agree the ending of humankind will likely come from a mutation that we cannot even see. Now that is true horror. Thank you all so much for watching today. We have much more coming in the future, and our format for release of videos has not been completely hashed out as of yet. We will be exploring some true crime, unsolved mysteries, internet mysteries, horror topics, and anything that just seems like a fun topic to delve into. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.